All right, everybody. Collar upar. Bhai, world champion ban gaye. Double world champions, T20 and ODIs. On Sunday, for a change, it was what the women's team did was the top story, and not what the men were doing in the third game. Mr. Bhogle, Mr. Bhattacharjya in the house. We've already seen their reactions on Twitter, on the Cricbuzz video section. But sir, what a happy day it was, sir.
It's a great day, except that when you ask people to put up their collar, you've chosen that day to wear a round neck collarless t-shirt.
Sir, ye hai na?
Both of us.
Now we can do that, na? You know, collar upar, say girls played well. What a day, sir.
How many people, it would be interesting to know how many people would be able to guess who you referred to just now.
All the 90s.
But they played beautifully. Okay, let me not get carried away. They played fantastic. Look, the moment they got into the semi-final, it was just a question of playing well on the day. Yeah. Someone coming up with an inspirational game. And I don't know why, right from the beginning, my gut feel was there is only one team that can trouble Australia in spite of the 14-2 record. The record is 14-2. You got no chance. It's a generational team. It's the greatest collection of players ever assembled. I thought the only team that could trouble them on an instinct, I thought, was India. Turned out like that, one of those days.
Seismic shift for the game, not just in India, but the world as well?
Yeah, I think it's a huge shift for the game, because the way I look at it, it's not just about the way they're winning. It's either the way they won, the kind of... See, in 17 had they won, you know, they reached the finals in 5 in 17.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been such a seismic shift, because I think far more has happened. The WPL has happened, women's cricket is there, social media is far more aware of it. So now this really is a big shift, and it's the biggest country in the world. I mean, we are the most populous country in the world. So this is very, very big, not just, as I said, for women's cricket in India, it's for women's sport in India. I think it's a huge thing.
The interesting thing is all over the world, except in South Africa, the narrative was why it is so important for India to win. Because if India wins, the money comes into the game. Have you realized that ever since money came into the Indian game, there are no Delhi bellies anymore? There is no dust and heat and stomach problems and food issues, nothing.
No one's bringing big beef.
It's incredible how the dollar covers up everything. I mean, it is true that they get to stay in the best hotels in the world, and it wasn't great before. But I don't want to take away from the fact that that different players rose to the occasion at different times, and they kept their cool, and that was going to be the biggest test. I thought the moment they made 300 against South Africa, and we knew there was no due, the game was done. But the game against Australia was something else.
I suspect before the semis, most people would have been able to name 4 or 5 players from the Indian 11.
I hope not.
Now I'm sure they can name all 14, right?
I hope so.
Yep.
I hope so. Otherwise, they're not cricket lovers.
Sure.
And it's not a crime not to be a cricket lover. You're not a cricket lover, that's cool. But if you're a cricket lover and you can't, then just erase cricket lover from your bio.
The other great side was to see the current team share that moment of glory with players who've played in the past. Anjum Chopra, Mithali Raj were there as well. So those were great sides.
Not just those two. What I enjoyed was they went all the way back to Shubhangi Kulkarni and the others.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful way of showing your gratitude, because we are always great. One generation lays the base for the next, which lays the base for the next, which lays the base for the next. And I think if you can appreciate that, if you can show your gratitude towards that, you become a bigger person.
Standing in the shoulders of giants, as they say, you know, and they did so well. And no, it was so much. I mean, there was so much grace in the way they did it, the way they shared so much with the crowd, with everyone out there, with the journalists, with former winners. It was a very gracious occasion, and I've seen joyous celebrations, but I've never seen such a gracious inclusion of everyone who was there. Yeah. The South African team, everything. I think this celebration was one of the most special I've seen in my life, and I think it will take women's sport in India hugely forward.
And it's...
Sorry, look at Laura Wolfart's reaction. Look at Marizanne Kapp's reaction. In the women's game, they look at it very differently, and may long be so. And we often say, what can the women's game take from the men's game? What can the men's game take from the women's game? A little bit more grace. A little bit more grace about how you go about doing things. And I thought that was beautiful.
Lovely final. I was lucky to be there, and it was so good to see.
How was the atmosphere? You tell us.
Crazy.
Yeah?
I saw some teary-eyed fans, boys, girls. There were elderly people there as well, little girls, little boys as well. So I think the gender hurdle's crossed now. Men and women will both watch women's cricket.
Fantastic. The time I teared up a little was at the presentation when they put a medal on Pratika Rawal and brought her up. Yeah, that is when I got emotional.
Most people hadn't left and they all waited for that victory lap. But we can go on and on about this win. For now, we'll come back to the men who perhaps were feeling a bit left out on Sunday when everybody was talking about this final. Now, the fourth T20I in the beautiful part of Gold Coast. Australia won the toss and they've chosen to bowl first. But Harsha, there's a stat it's a staggering stat, India's record against Australia. A bit surprising, isn't it? India hasn't ever lost a series to Australia in Australia.
It's an amazing stat. It's one of those things. Sometimes people do a joy on Twitter and say a stat that surprises you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Tendulkar's got more 5-wicket hauls than some Vaughan and someone put together.
Srikanth had the first 2 5-wicket hauls for India ODIs.
This is a stat that says, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. So it's an amazing stat. It's what, 1-1?
Yep.
With 1-1 with 2 to play. So there's a context for it.
Right. If India win tonight, that series will continue of not losing to Australia in Australia. Now, you know, we often talk about the West Indies of the 70s and the Australia and white ball cricket of the 2000s. At what point do you attribute the word great to a team in a particular format? Is this current India T20 force a great force?
I think it's a great force when it's playing at full strength. Sure. It is a great force and we have tremendous amount of depth at Harsha, I would say. We can have a second and a third 11 which would compete at the world level. Yep. But I think great is the moment, in my mind, I think we are about 59%, our winning rate is about 59% in T20s. Right. I think you cross 60, anything above 60 is you're really doing well.
Right.
I mean, nothing to compare to the Australian women's cricket team currently, which is the greatest, even among Australian men's and women's teams of all time. But I think we are a very complete team in the number of options that we can throw at every position. There's not a single position, perhaps besides, take away Bumrah, where you can't say that there's an immediate replacement for that person.
As of now, India's far, far stronger when India can play the combination that they want to play, which is 3 or 4 spinners, use Hardik and Shivam Dube a little bit and Bumrah thereafter. The moment they go abroad, then the balance shifts a little bit. Yeah. And then you've got to choose between players because you don't have enough seam bowling all-rounders.
Yeah.
But still, 59% is awesome. Listen, the longer the game, the better the chance of the better team winning. So if you have the great Australian team, the great West Indies teams of the past, we looked at them largely on test match cricket.
Yeah.
Or ODIs.
Here, the best team, if it's winning 6 out of 60%, that's not bad at all.
Lots of options also means, Twitter is generally a buzz. Lots of disagreements as well. Extreme
but are you allowed to agree on Twitter?
I suppose not. You have to by default disagree, have a contrarian view.
There's a time when people were civil, both on the news and on Twitter.
Let's take a look at if India have made any changes to their lineup. I suppose they haven't. They've gone in with the same lineup as they did in that last game. Joy, your thoughts?
Gautam's losing his touch.
So what's happening?
Yeah, in the last 21 matches that I think he was coach for India, I think 17 times he changed his team.
Yeah, 4 times they've gone in with the same.
So. Yeah, so 17 times he changed him. So I think he's
got bored.
Tic-tac-toe. No, seriously, I think once you've taken the decision to send Kuldeep back and say that, okay, this is what we are playing with.
Yeah.
I was just a bit surprised right at the start to not see Arshdeep play.
Yep.
Now that he's gotten and he's proven himself. And look, here's my point, and we've been talking about this in the last discussion also with Zach, which is that we are looking at it and saying this is a trial for the World Cup.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Hold on. It is Australia. We are playing a series abroad, and we have 10 more T20Is in India after this. 10 more games to try out whichever combination on home conditions, which are truer conditions. So let's just focus on winning these 2 and finishing it off.
Is there over-experimentation?
I'm not sure. No, I don't. Sometimes I think to juggle around with the compositions, you allow the team management that. I don't think there's way too much. But I agree with Joy that sometimes you think so much about the future that you lose the present sometimes. You've got to beat Australia in a series.
Sure.
Look, this is a serious Australian T20 side. Even with the Hazelwoods and the Cummins and the Heads gone, it's still a very serious Australian T20 side. You want to win that. My only concern is that when you have so many options, you have to be seen to be fair.
Sure.
True.
Sometimes that's not possible.
Yeah.
I don't think we were always fair to Arshdeep, but the truth is that Arshdeep was playing large. India largely played in conditions where if Hardik Pandya was available and Bumrah was available, and then you bowled 30-35 overs of spin.
Yeah.
But the moment you went there, I thought Arshdeep should have started straight away. But the 8-batter rule, it's almost become a rule, is what is allowing teams to play a certain way. On one of the earlier pre-shows that we did, we had numbers for India, Australia, England, and how they are so far away from everybody else in the numbers they are generating. That is because they're playing 8 batters. And if you look at the last game against Australia, Australia are 11 for 2 or 14 for 2.
Yes.
Then they become 74 for 3. They hit 60 in the next 6 overs, being 2 down.
There's a batting depth.
That you can only do that if you're batting depth. So I think 8 batters is now mandatory.
Yeah.
Then you see how you adjust the bowling around it.
And therefore the coach is well within his rights, the captain as well, to figure combinations that work best for them. Come the World Cup, you know Gautam Gambhir fairly well. What do you think he's doing?
No, I think, look, Gautam, 2 things. One is that he is not going to pick anyone on the basis of which state he comes from or any of those factors. He's going to pick the best possible team for India.
I'm so happy. I decided I won't interrupt. I'm so happy he said it because everybody on the internet these days knows Gautam Gambhir since he was 3 and hasn't found a single nice thing to say about him. I mean, I hear people saying things about Gautam Gambhir and I say, right, how well? Do you have a cup of coffee with him every 3 hours? Anyway, sorry.
No,
I will now keep quiet for the next
but it's just so, he's got his heart completely in the right place. He's a very shrewd, sharp tactician. In fact, if I have to say, I'd say these are his best formats. The white ball formats are his best formats. He understands these the best.
Yeah.
So he's been, there are 2 mandates out here. Remember, your selection committee says, this is our thought process for a series. Okay, and then as a coach and captain, you micromanage and say, okay, this is the way you're thinking about it. This is what we need to accomplish this. Yeah. And I think Gautam is doing the best job that he possibly can. And if, say, he picks bowler A over bowler B, it is not because he favors a particular bowler. He just happens to think this guy is a better chance to win a match for you. Or he happens to think that guy, we already know how good he is. Let's try this guy. It gives us one more guy to be in contention for the World Cup. That's how I think he looks at it.
It's also good to have so many options. If it's leading to confusion, it's good, augurs well for the India team at the World Cup. Now, Australia have exercised the option to make a lot of changes. Glenn Maxwell has come in as well into the squad, into the 11 as well. So 4 changes, Maxwell in, Zampa's there as well, Josh Phillip in that lineup and the lefty Ben Dwarshuis.
So Gautam Gambhir picking that side as well?
Yeah. All his critics are searching for Harshit Rana there, unfortunately. But Glenn Maxwell...
it's ridiculous how... anyway, let's go.
Yeah, Glenn Maxwell, more for his...
I think this is a really, really important series for Australia. Because it's just before the auction. And it's just before retentions are announced.
For Australia, for Maxwell.
For Maxwell, for Dwarshuis, for anyone who doesn't have a current IPL contract which is being retained. This is a trial. Yeah. Let's give it the name it is. This is...
The IPL audition series.
IPL audition series international. So there's Indian trials and there's IPL
Australia special.
Australia special.
Now, Maxwell...
to go for retention announcements.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Is Maxwell being picked for...
Stop there. Picked for what?
For his nationality?
No.
I won't go there. We're not a Twitter show. Is he being picked for his batting potential or his bowling performances?
There is a Maxwell who plays the IPL and there is a Maxwell who plays for Australia. They look similar, but they're different entities. The Maxwell who plays for Australia is a scarily good cricketer. The Maxwell who comes to play for the IPL is a waxwork that is sent out. But look at his numbers. We just saw those numbers.
Post IPL, yeah.
And remember, he can give you 4 overs, he can give you 2 most times. And even as he gets older, he's still as brilliant as ever in the field.
Oof, can't feel.
So what he gives you on paper and most times for Australia is incredible. So I don't think Australia will ever form a T20 side without Maxwell.
Yeah.
And look, he can bat anyway. I think in recent times they've been giving him 6, 7 to bat.
Yep.
And they've pushed Tim David up to number 4. That's worked so far. So as a bowler, yes, I think his numbers in IPL or in recent times, his numbers have been pretty good. Yeah. But Maxwell of Australia.
With the bat, although he's after that last IPL, he scored 100 in the MLC and a 60-odd, I think, for Australia in the odd game. So we need to look at these numbers in the right perspective as well, post-IPL.
Yeah, look, again, I really feel that franchise cricket is not where he puts his heart in. And
Despite having an Aussie coach?
It doesn't... any coach. See, in the IPL, he's only worked if the IPL is being held abroad. take him to Dubai or whatever, he'll start scoring runs for you immediately.
Strange, no?
Strange. Yeah. But it's one of those things. There was an IPL where he didn't hit a single six, I think, or he hit 1 6 in an entire season. So what I'm trying to say is that I think he's a great guy, and they will look at him and say, he's definitely one of the first 3 or 4 guys you're going to pencil in, you're going to play the World Cup in India. Yeah. You're going to pencil him straight off because he has experience in Indian conditions. He's a match winner for you. And he's an inspirational player for all the young guys around. I mean, that knock in the Wankhede day, Afghanistan would have still not got over it, what he did that day.
Mujib certainly hasn't.
And Australia may not have made it to the finals.
No,
who knows what the story might be.
They wouldn't have made it to the finals.
But, in August, I think he said he wants to be considered as a power play option with the ball for Australia. Is that a fair expectation from him?
And that's a brave thing to be, for a finger spinner to say, I want to be a power play option.
Yeah.
But at this stage, you want to tell the people who are going to pick you, here are different areas that I can be in. So I can also do this for you. But remember, every team these days is built with 8 batting options and 6 or 7 bowling options. So much like, I hate to say it, but when Joy was there in the KKR side, they were always a team of 10 with 1 Yusuf Pathan.
Correct.
If you can be a team of 10 with 1 Glenn Maxwell, that is where he works perfectly. I'm perfectly fine with 7 batsmen and 5 and 6 bowling options among my 10. Then Maxwell, go and do what you want. If you take the pressure off Maxwell, I think he becomes twice the player.
It's so fascinating. I've got a cricket and football analogy for this. In the 1994 World Cup, I remember Italy was playing, and the only player, there was one of the players, I think the goalkeeper got a red card, and immediately the player subbed in. The player who had to be subbed out so that they could bring in a keeper and this thing was Roberto Baggio. Why? Because he was their best player, but he was the only guy given no responsibilities on the field. He said, go do your genius. So Maxwell and Pathan are like that. At one day, they'll produce an innings or something that is just transcendental. That will change the game.
You're watching Joy Factor live. There was just a sample of what's coming up at the end of the show. We have football analogies as well and football trivia for you. Quick reminder, 4 changes for Australia. Barring Maxwell, in come Adam Zampa, Ben Dwarshuis, Josh Phillip. Apparently, this is a good ground for 6 hitting. The ball will fly to all parks as well, is what Bharat Sundaresan reckoned on his piece. We've got a fan question coming in. Hashtag Ask Cricbuzz Live. That's where they've sent in that question. This is from Mr. Datta. I've been told. Debayan Datta. Given the umpteen changes Australia have done, and not just for the Ashes, seems like they prioritise even Sheffield and One Day Cup, for which Sangha has released more than an international series at home. Have bilaterals lost their charm? Revive the tri-series, maybe.
There's a lot of people who are saying revive the tri-series, but not one of them works in the ad sales department of a television network.
Commerce.
Because if you don't have a home series playing, you just want to see the numbers again.
Yeah.
Yes, bilaterals have lost their zing a little bit, but for Australia to prioritise Shield cricket this year makes complete sense because they want their players to have 1, maybe 2 Shield games before the Test match starts.
Yeah.
Why has Sangha gone back? If you notice over the years, Australia don't have players just hanging around. So if they thought with Zampa around, Sangha is not going to make the 11.
Yeah.
What's he better off doing? Is he better off just hanging around the squad, or is he better off going and playing cricket somewhere rather than just being around the squad doing nothing? And that has been their philosophy most times. So they must have just looked at it and said, Tanvir, you're not likely to play.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and get a game somewhere else? It's 2 T20s, you'll play the same 11. If you've got 12 players, that's good enough. Once you know your 11, 12 players is more than enough to have in the squad.
The counter to that might be a fan saying, is India-Australia not a big enough bilateral series?
India-Australia is a very big bilateral series, but under the conditions that you've played so much cricket, the Women's World Cup is just over. There's so much on in cricket, and what's happened is now cricket viewers have become festival watchers. The Cricket World Cup was a festival, women's cricket. Now our next festival is going to be the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
So between festivals, we're a bit tired. We want to go back to normal. And I think that's the problem with bilaterals are facing. What's happened is the ICC at one time used to have 1 big series every 2 years. Now, literally, between the Women's World Cup, the Men's World Cup, T20, you have 1 big ICC event every year.
Yes.
You have the IPL every year.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's happened is you've taken 2 big chunks away all the time. They're always being taken away. So the rest of the time, it's sort of the bilaterals they don't seem to give you that much. And when you are excited, it's about the big test series. If you see, whether it's England, whether it's Australia. So I think that's what's happening. They have to find a way to fix bilateral, but as they said, tri-series is not the answer for television ratings or selling sponsorship. Tri-series are a very difficult job.
T20 World Cup next year, ODI World Cup in 27, the Olympics, which will have cricket in 28, and so on.
And a Champions Trophy in between somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
And
Asia
another Women's World Cup somewhere in between. An Asia Cup somewhere. An Under-19 World Cup somewhere.
Yeah. It's good for the health of the sport, right?
Well, the ICC is saying, we want a share of the pie too.
Sure.
The IPL is saying, we want a share of the pie too. If you've got two big-built, hungry young men, there's not a lot of crumbs left for all the others. So everyone wants a share of the pie. And so there are... So the bilaterals are struggling for context. But in this case, I can completely understand Australia's approach.
Because they don't have any more T20s after this series. They'll have to look at BBL performances to pick their squad for the World Cup. Now, India have also made a change. They've sent Kuldeep back home, who's in action today in Bangalore against South Africa. Does it tell you that Kuldeep will only get game time playing at home? Red ball or white ball? He doesn't get a game in England. He plays only one day, I think, in Sydney in Australia this series. And he's been sent back home.
I think Mone Mokel made the point that a lot of us have made over here, that you cannot play both Arshdeep and Kuldeep in your 11. You cannot, if you want 8 batting options. If you're happy with 7 batting options, then you can play both of them. It gives you a scary bowling lineup with Bumrah, Arshdeep, Varun and Kuldeep. But if you want your number 8 to bat, then you cannot have both Arshdeep and Kuldeep in the same side unless Arshdeep wants to work on his batting enough to become a number 8. So if he's not going to get game time over there, on those pitches you need the second seam bowler in Arshdeep, especially if Hardik is not there.
Yeah.
If Hardik is in the side, it makes it easier to have Kuldeep in the side. But if Hardik is not in the side and you think you need that second pace bowler in Arshdeep, he's just hanging around. Might as well give him some game time because he's going to play the test match.
It's against South Africa.
Against South Africa. He's going to play the test match. So you might as well. I think it's a prudent choice.
Yeah.
Because your top fast bowler is Bumrah. Okay. Your top spinner at this point in the T20 format is Varun Chakravarti.
100%.
So these two play. So if you take the third, it's only going to be one of the two, depending on your conditions.
India like batting depth at number 8. They need someone who can come in and score the big runs. Jitesh Sharma is in this lineup as well. Once again, no Sanju Samson. Now that's been a big debate across India among cricket fans. Firstly, let's talk about Jitesh. He's done well enough to justify his 11 crore price tag in the IPL, hasn't he?
No, absolutely. I mean, must-win match against LSG. He goes and gets at 80 and under conditions where, A, they need to win. Secondly, Patidar was not there.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was a very, very important innings. And then in the finals, his 10 ball 24 is also excellent. So I think first, it's not just about scoring the runs. It's about the situation in which you've scored the runs. I mean, that LSG match was a must-win for them. Finals, of course, is the finals. You know? And so these are the kind of matches that if you come through, your coach looks at you and you says that this is a guy who doesn't just hit in the nets, he's capable of handling pressure. He's worth that money. Yeah. So he's definitely, and from his days in Punjab, we've seen he's got that temperament. He's always gone there and fought for this team. So I think our problem is not with Jitesh. I mean, my problem is never with Jitesh. I think he's a fantastic cricketer.
Yeah.
My question is, what were the things Sanju Samson was doing wrong for which he's not in the team? That's all I have to ask.
Does the team look at what the team needs or does it prioritize being fair to a player?
Always look at what the team needs. But if you can leave out a player who's averaging 35 and striking at 152, you must be rich beyond imagination. It's not Sanju versus Jitesh. It's about batting positions. So if Sanju goes to the top of the order, where he's got extraordinary success, then Rinku Singh comes in between and Jitesh doesn't play.
Yep.
But if you want someone to play in the middle, then I think Jitesh gives you a more free-flowing option in the middle than Sanju Samson does. But my concern is that you said to Sanju Samson, you've been a really good player, we don't want to drop you. And so we will allow you to find time to make room in the middle order because you've been that good for India. But then he gets left out of the middle order. He gets 1 innings at number 3. 1. That's it. That is the story of Sanju Samson's life. You get an innings here, you get 2 innings there, you get 3 innings there. The issue is that you're making an investment in Shubman Gill. That is the primary issue. Because at that number that Shubman is occupying, you have many options. But the moment you say Shubman Gill will occupy that position, then you've got Surya Yadav, who's one of the best in the world. Tilak Verma has just won you a fantastic series. Then you don't have another batting option up there in the top three. And so if you're going to play Shubman Gill, then you have no place for Jaiswal and you have no place for Samson. So it's a question of putting faith in Gill.
Yeah.
That is the key. And India have chosen Gill over Samson. India have not chosen Jitesh over Samson.
Yeah. Among the other keeping options, Dhruv Jurel not in the fray currently.
Yes.
Ishan Kishan not in the fray currently for now. Rishabh Pant just come back from injury. Where is Jitesh and where is Samson in that pecking order for you guys?
For me, look, it's
for the World Cup.
No, I still go back to what he's saying. I'm saying play Samson, play him at the top. He's got 3 T20 centuries in a single year. T20 international centuries in a single year, practically. I mean, he and Abhishek Sharma were the most destructive pair. What did they do that we had to dismantle that? And my question everyone is going to ask is that, you want to give Shubman a run. Why? Shubman, I think, is a great cricketer. He's the future of Indian Test cricket. He's a great 50-over cricketer. He may not always be your best T20 option right now. And, we are talking about age. People are talking about Sanju Samson. He's 30. I think he's in his early 30s.
Yes,
I mean, Surya is 35.
Doesn't matter.
And you don't need him to be there for 5 years. You need him for the next couple of years. And I just feel, whatever we have done, for whatever reason that we decided to bring Shubman into the equation, we have just basically changed the format in such a way that now we can't go back. Now we are stuck. The moment you play Shubman there means your keeper has to be a finisher.
Now,
that's what it means.
We discussed Kuldeep. Now, the lay viewer might ask you, if Kuldeep can be sent back to prepare for the South Africa series, why not Bumrah or Gill?
True. Why not Gill?
Yeah, why not Gill?
Why not Gill? Because he's going to be captaining the side.
Sure.
Correct.
And I thought Gill playing this A series would have given him the right kind of preparation to be ready for the series against South Africa. So if anyone, it probably was Gill. But the reason they haven't sent Gill back tells me straight away that they want to give Gill as many opportunities there at the top. Because remember, he gives you 2 things. He gives you solidity, long innings at a good strike rate. Whether that is priority today, I don't know. Because it's okay to average 25, It's okay to average 25, 30. You don't have to average 40. It's okay to average 25, 30. If each of your top 8 are averaging 25, you're getting 200. So it doesn't matter. I'm assuming the strike rate is allowing you to play 120 balls. So it is Gill who is the issue. And they've made that choice. And good on them. They've made the choice. I hope it works for them. But it'll be a fair exercise to say, let's put all the opening options that we have in India at the moment. And there are 4.
There's one.
There's Abhishek Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Sanju Samson, and Shubman Gill. Out of these 4, who are your best 2? If Sanju Samson is in your best 2, then Jitesh plays. If Sanju is, if Sanju is in your best 2, Jitesh doesn't play, Rinku plays. If Sanju is not in your best 2, then Jitesh plays. But all the other options that you mentioned, Ishan Kishan, top order. Rishabh Pant, when he plays at his best, top order. Do you want someone to bat at 6, 7, 8? There, your best option is Jitesh Sharma.
By a country mile.
Right. Another reminder, Australia won the toss and they've chosen to bowl first, and we have to talk about... Sorry, you're saying something?
No, I'm just saying that all big sides, when India was a 50-over behemoth, okay, it was Rohit and Shikhar Dhawan opening, Kohli. These 1, 2, 3 was standard. They had to play around the rest, okay, but the 1, 2, 3 was standard. Today, your record, if you see Australia's T20 record, it's who? It's Travis and Mitch Marsh. They're a combination up top. They're scary up top. England, Butler, Salt, okay, all these, they come to you and they're destructive. You had a pair like that. You had Abhishek and Sanju. And you've just dismantled it, and now it's hit or miss. But they were a fearsome combination when they went in together. And I still don't see the logic of dismantling it. That's all.
Gill and Abhishek opening. Gentlemen, predictions?
I hope we haven't given the impression that we don't trade Shubman Gill.
Absolutely.
Because I think he's a serious player. He's given you 800-run IPL seasons. But it's just a question of, on current form, did the incumbent do enough to get left out?
Yeah. It's not a call on Gill.
Okay.
It's a call on Samson. It's not a call on Gill. It's a call on Samson. And I hope people watching this program understand the subtlety and the nuance behind that statement.
Which is increasingly rare in this world, sadly.
But these are irrelevant people, so it doesn't matter.
Watch Cricbuzz live for the right perspective. This is the only place you'll get it. Now, sir, shoot.
We are batting.
Joy factor.
Oh, okay, great. Joy factor is easier.
Easier today?
It's fun today.
Okay.
Before graduating from his school in New York in 2010, who started his first school cricket team was also editor-in-chief of his school newspaper.
So he started the first cricket school team.
Yeah, it was not there before 2010 in his school.
In New York.
In New York, yeah.
Correct. And then, go on.
He was also editor of the
School magazine.
Magazine, yeah.
So what gives you greater joy? That he was editor of the school magazine or that he started the cricket team?
No, he started a cricket team. I mean,
Even
he's
more
a
joy
pioneer.
if this guy is Bengali. Is he? No. Not Bengali.
No, he's not Bengali.
He has a Bengali connection. Okay, I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
Any idea?
No. Abhishek. Okay, sorry. Producer's just telling me Abhishek is dropped. Okay, he's dropped. He's still batting.
Yeah.
Good batting conditions. Finchy, I rate Aaron Finch. So his pitch report said good to bat. And I'm going 187.
I'm going 177.
I'm going to go 199. Lock it. Leave your predictions in the comment section and see us at the 10 over mark on Cricbuzz Combox. Bye.
Thanks.